Hey guys, it's Kanji once again with another unwritten, unrehearsed, rambling review talking about One Piece World Collectible Figures. So it's been a little while since my last update, and so I want to talk you through a few of the things that have happened over the past 2 weeks or so. So first and foremost, I think I ended the last video with the Shichibukai figures that I hadn't yet opened, and as you can see here, they have now been fully opened and displayed. And I have to say, if I'm entirely honest, I am not really feeling the Volume 4 style. Bear in mind, these were very early days World Collectible figures, 2010, and you look at them, and while some people say that like the paint was so much better back then, and that they were a bit disappointed when the plastic changed, I think take Bartholomew Kuma as an example. That Kuma compared to this Kuma, or even the Pacifista Kuma, I think is a little bit lacking. But hey, I can't complain. I've got them now. They're a nice little set. I shuffled stuff around a little bit, as you've probably noticed. I've got Doflamingo down there now. He's obviously the Ichiban Kuji. And I actually also got the Jinbei Volume 4, because I realised that the Ichiban Kuji and the Volume 4 were pretty much identical. And so it means that I have a blue base, whereas I had to kind of custom this one a little bit, which you can see his foot doesn't quite touch. But yeah, I mean, that's just my OCD. I like every single figure to have a blue base, regardless of what colour base it came with. History of Ace being another good example of that. Next update, you will see Yasop, the real deal. Unfortunately, it did cost me a lot more than I wanted to pay, but I was so annoyed off that whole bootleg fiasco that I just really needed it to kind of complete my Redhead Pirates setup. So there they are. Lucky Roo's now been opened, of course, as well, and Beckman too. So that kind of almost concludes my Marineford display. I could have been spitting feathers yesterday, I have to say, because once again, somebody beat me to a Jump Stars Luffy Marineford figure on Mandrake. It literally, I checked it, and then 10 minutes later I refreshed, and they'd updated the listings, and it was already sold out. So that's like the third time this has happened. They need to put it for more than 600 yen. Clearly 600 yen is just attracting people like flies. I wouldn't mind paying like 1,000 yen for that figure. But everywhere else I've looked for it, it's like 20 quid, which is clearly like 3,000 yen plus. So, yeah, that and obviously Ace are two of the last remaining figures that I really would like for this display. I also would like to get the Marco Phoenix from the Year of the Rooster, which would be quite nice. And finally, actually on its way, coming, Impel Down. So Volume 11 contains 8 figures from the Impel Down arc, and they're actually on their way. Not quite sure how I'm going to squeeze these in, but we shall see what we can do. Primarily it's Ivankov. Emporio Ivankov, played a significant role in Marineford, so I really wanted him, but it just made sense to get the full set, and I was fortunate enough to find one of those on Mandrake a couple of weeks back, so that should be arriving very soon. As far as the Marines, they've all arrived now. I can't remember whether I had all these in my last review, but I haven't unboxed them, apart from Bastille, who is in my Dressrosa display case. The rest of them are all still boxed, and I haven't quite made a decision. I think they just look nice. I like the boxes. I've actually done them on their sides, so you can actually see like almost like a wanted poster kind of effect. I thought that's kind of cool. So that's how I've kind of displayed them. Now, the other big news is I have had a complete reshuffle of my Punk Hazard and Fishman Island arc. And the reason I've done that is because I wanted to get more Fishman Island. You know, the English dub has just kind of finished being released. We're currently awaiting Punk Hazard English dub to come. And so, you know, I'm rewatching everything in the dub, having watched it subtitled the first time. And so I'm really excited for that. And in preparation, I wanted to kind of get everybody from Fishman Island and have them all on display. So as you can see here, a whole raft of new figures have arrived. Starting off here, we've got Madame Shirley. So she's pretty awesome there with her pipe. I'm loving that. We've also got Megalo from the Zoo set in the background, who I've managed to find a blue base and a little peg stand for. So he's actually, you know, been customed a little bit. Additionally, I've got Shirahoshi and all of the princes. I can't tell you which one's which, but I know it's like Ryuboshi, Mamboshi and Fukuboshi, I think it is. Now, a bit of an unfortunate, and I'd like anyone who owns this figure to tell me whether this has happened to you, but trying to put these like ribbons on these figures into the peg holes is ridiculous. And as you can see there, it snapped. And it still isn't really fitted properly. It's just like the peg holes are in the wrong positions for the ribbon, and I don't know if that's just my figure was faulty or whether that's just a standard. I've seen some pictures where people seem to have managed to do it okay. I mean, the same kind of applies for this dude, and so I didn't even force it. I just kind of just left them hang, because that seemed to be what the picture showed, even though there are peg holes for the ribbon. This dude, it seemed to be absolutely fine for. So, you know, obviously any other World Collectible figure, I probably would have been crying buckets, but bear in mind, this dude cost me, what, 200, 300 yen? You know, I left the Fishman Island figures on purpose, really, because I knew how cheap they were and how readily available they are. So I thought, look, I'm going to focus on all of the more expensive stuff, try and build up a really nice collection, and then when I get to a point where I've got everything that I want, I can go back and kind of pick up, you know, the Fishman Island stuff, and that's worked out quite well. And so that's pretty much everything there from you know, volume 20, I don't know, what was it, 29, 30, 31, I don't know, something around there. So yeah, I've got the cool octopus dude, Hyozo or something I think his name was, and Hammond. They look pretty awesome there alongside Hody. It would have been nice to have some more of like the generals from the new Fishman Pirates, like Neo's one of my favourites. But yeah, they kind of seem to just give us some very early arc figures, and then by the time they got round to the next sets, it was kind of they were doing the Fisher Tiger flashback stuff, and then it was kind of straight into the whole, you know, Luffy versus Hody battle. So Minister of Left and Right there, not really much to say about those guys, not the most exciting, I have to say. And I guess the same really applies for old Gyro, the crab hand dude, who I think was seen for like one chapter. And yeah, I think it was just really to kind of showcase Hody's strength even before the energy steroid power up. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice figure, and I like how it's like a bit shiny on his claw. I mean, they're all pretty great, I have to say. You know, having put it off for so long, I'm glad that I finally have these. And so, yeah, if you kind of take a step back, you'll see, you know, that's literally Fishman Island and Punk Hazard all dedicated to one case. And the one other edition, which hasn't gone into the Fishman Island arc, is actually little Sarume there. I was kind of inspired a bit by some of the other items I'd seen, pictures I'd seen, and yeah, I think that Sarume fits really nicely with the 20th anniversary set. And again, I kind of propped him up on, funnily enough, a Figma stand that I've just kind of slipped down the back there. You know, this case is the next case that will need to get some love. The top row looking pretty good, but definitely a reshuffle going to need to go on. And of course, Whole Cake Island Volume 2 on its way to me very soon. Additionally, actually, Mugiwara 56 Volume 1 and 2, plus the 1000 Sunny, which most of you guys probably already got, is finally arrived in Portland, Oregon, and is ready for dispatch by US Go By. So for those who weren't aware, I actually used AmiAmi to order those, but because they will only send to North America, I've had to use a forwarding service. So those items are now all in North America and being dispatched to the UK. So obviously once they arrive, then there will be a review of those. So yeah, really excited for Mugiwara 56 and the 1000 Sunny. And so the 1000 Sunny kind of brings me on to some other stuff, which you may have noticed. Where are the reunion figures? You know, Shabondi, or Sabo Eddie, reunion, before Fishman Island, you know, all of the straw hats. I haven't got them on display anymore. And the reason being is because I've removed them from this case to make this Fishman Island and Punk Hazard. It does mean that now I have a load of figures that I need to find a home for. And so the idea is that at some point I will need to get, yes, another box. A fifth box, I imagine, and maybe even a sixth box will probably be in the pipeline, but I'm thinking probably December or maybe early 2019. So in terms of what is going to be going into that box, here you go. So some more pickups. I already had old Mustachio Luffy, and obviously the 8 Mugiwara, well 9 if you include Brook from volume 28, displayed. But I've also got all of the fake straw hats, so they are all in their boxes awaiting. I've also got Caribou and Korobu from volume 29, which are kind of reunion characters. And of course I reboxed my fight set, Zoro and Sanji. And of course, you know, the Zoro and Sanji set is also coming out as part of the 50th anniversary in December, with that weekly Shonen Jump 34 kind of coupon. So I've got that ordered, and they will also be going in this case. And then of course here I've got all of the characters that sort of helped during the time skip. And then of course good old Sanji and Usopp in there, kind of appearances during those 2 years when they were separated. Separation serial. So yeah, all of these guys, plus the 1000 Sunny ship, plus, you know, the new Zoro and Sanji, plus I believe there is a Sanji figure coming as part of History of Sanji in October. So that will obviously go in this display, and that will make for what I'm tentatively calling my kind of reunion box. And so yeah, it continues. That's pretty much most of the updates. I think the only other bit of news, for those who have seen, we've had confirmation, as we all expected, on the Zodiac Volume 1 and 2. We know that's coming from the colour spread, so that's quite exciting for January and February. And we've also got a Fight of Luffy, or Battle of Luffy set coming in March, which is based on Whole Cake Island. And you can only speculate at this point what that set will contain, but I'm really hoping it is going to be a cracker in there, and maybe even a Tank Man Luffy. That would be pretty awesome. But yeah, excited about that set. So yeah, just before I sign off, the one other thing I just wanted to show you guys, because I had a few people ask me about this, is Dragon Ball. So up to this point, all of my videos have been One Piece World Collectible figures. But of course, you know, I also am a very big Dragon Ball SH Figure Arts fan. This is my Vegeta and Majin Buu who came recently, and obviously the box is all there. I've also got Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which needs to be unboxed. And of course down below I have my rather awesome kind of diorama set of everything Namaki and Saiyan Saga-y and Cell Saga-y. Goku's kind of fallen over because he's so bored of me not paying any attention to them. So, as you can see, desperate for another box. That is going to be coming very, very soon. So expect, in addition to my World Collectible review videos, some Dragon Ball SH Figure Arts videos. There's obviously so much coming over the next few months. Gotenks is going to be a big one. And of course I've still got other figures like Goku Black to unbox and display, and a bunch of other Dragon Ball Super related stuff. So yeah, follow me, and I'll see you next time. Later.